So I don't normally get involved in conversations about politics. So I need you to understand that this conversation needs to be had because it's bigger than politics. I'm having the conversation because I need people to use their critical thinking skills and to be a little bit more aware. This government shutdown is not solely about food stamps, okay? It's not. And just here's the little tidbit of information for you. You may not care. I see a lot of people who, for whatever strange reason, your hatred or your dislike for someone is overriding your critical thinking skills. The focus of people getting food stamps who don't deserve it is more of a focus for you than the millions of people who need the food stamps. Deserve is not what we're talking about here, who need the food stamps. We're talking about children. We're talking about individuals in residential and healthcare facilities. We're talking about the elderly. We're talking about people who are retired. We're talking, a lot of people need the food stamps. Their need for them should override your dislike for somebody or a group of people that you believe is getting them and they don't deserve them. And the truth of the matter is, you can look this information up. People are so concerned about their tax dollars being applied to food stamps when in actuality, less than 5% of what you pay in your taxes goes to SNAP benefits. And when I say less than 5%, what I actually mean is less than 2% of your tax dollars goes into paying food stamps. The majority of the money that comes out of your check that goes back to the federal government, guess where it goes? Medicare and Medicaid. See, this thing was hardly ever about food stamps. This was all about health care, and it still is. You want to know how much of your income, how much of the federal government's income that they get from the working class people and from large corporations? Almost more than 10% of what goes back to the federal government goes back into Medicare, goes back into Medicaid. Now, you're probably thinking, why should all of my money go back into Medicare and go back into Medicaid? Why should I have to pay for people's health care when they should get up and go and get a job? Well, individuals who are on Medicaid are often children. They're often pregnant women. They are often working class people who, since there has been a change, cannot get full-time hours, and so they can't afford to have the $200+ that's taken out of their checks to pay for private insurance, so they get Medicaid. Our elderly individuals get Medicare. Our disabled individuals get Medicare. But it was never about saving the working class individuals money. It was about big corporations. Big corporations are the ones who are going to be getting the huge tax breaks from these changes. But y'all worried about the food stamps, when you need to be worried about the fact that with the changes the federal government is making to our healthcare system, you can now be prepared to pay upwards of $27,000 or more a year for your health insurance, which equals roughly about more than $1,300 a month. $1,300 a month for healthcare. And I know some of you are like, you know what? I don't even go to the doctor like that. I ain't worried about it. I ain't gonna get no health insurance. I'm gonna just thug it out. Who's gonna do that? The people who are already struggling day to day, the people who are living in neighborhoods where it's a food desert as is. This is a ripple effect. This is a trickle down effect, and we're not using our critical thinking skills. People were all excited, you know, oh, Trump got a second term, he's gonna do all these changes, and you know, this is all these moral arguments. He's a businessman. And people can have their opinions about whether he was actually a good or a bad businessman, well, because of how much wealth he actually has versus how many businesses didn't make it. That ain't what I'm here to talk about. He's a businessman, and at the end of the day, he's a shrewd businessman. And if there's anything that you know about type A individuals or shrewd businessmen or women, they are all out for self. Anybody who is working class or less than working class, if you think you're going to benefit from this, you're sadly mistaken. And whatever celebratory thing that you're going to get from seeing other people suffer, what's that old saying? When you dig the grave for one, you better dig one for yourself. So I don't know that there's anything that can be done about any of this, but I just want us to use our critical thinking skills. I want us to be better. Y'all celebrating, making jokes, the food stamp thing this, the healthcare thing there. Y'all, it doesn't matter to you until it matters to you. You tell these people to go out and get a job, and right now, we have federal workers who are going on 30 days of no pay, and they're being forced to still come to work. That means that they do not get the income to pay their rent, to pay their mortgage, to buy their food. They can't apply for food stamps to cover the time that they're off so that they can get food, because no one is getting food stamps right now. This is going to put people, working class people who are already living check to check, this is going to put them another 30, 45, 60 days behind. And then their jobs are telling them to go and get a loan. Go and get a loan while the credit reporters are still reporting that they are paying their bills late. What's not clicking? Those people, if no one else, need food stamps because they still have children that they have to take care of. Oh, I forgot about WIC. And you so worried about the people who you believe laying around just popping out babies. What about the working mothers with husbands in the house, and the both of them are federal employees, and they cannot get the income that they need to feed themselves or their children, and they can't get WIC either because WIC is also included in all of this. I didn't want to make it too long, but it is what it is. And if you made it this far, I just want to tell you, as a therapist, as a social worker, as a human being, yeah, I want you to be aware of your emotions. I want you to regulate your emotions. I want you to use distress tolerance skills. I want you to do all of that, but I want you to use it in conjunction with your critical thinking skills. None of this is about anything other than money. And it ain't our money that they trying to save, it's theirs.